All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, for many people, this NFL season, it was supposed to be a throwaway for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they are supposed to be rebuilding post Tom Brady. But somebody forgot to tell that to the Bucks. And I say this because you look at the Bucks right now, and even though it hasn't been pretty at times, this team is in the catbird seat to win the NFC South. And if the Bucks were indeed able to do that, it would mark the first time in franchise history that they would have won this division or won a division title, period. Because remember, once upon a time, they were in the NFC Central, and even before that, the AFC West. But nonetheless, this would mark the first time in franchise history that they would have won a division title in 3 consecutive years, and also just the second time that they would have made the postseason in 4 consecutive years. Of course, you got to go back to the Bucks of the late '90s and early 2000s. When they were defined by their defense with John Lynch, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber and company. Of course, they won the Super Bowl at the end of the 2002 NFL season. But nonetheless, getting back to the 2023 version of the Bucks, it's been a roller coaster ride. We saw this team get off to the 3-1 start, and then they would go on to lose 6 of their next 7. But since nobody has been able to run away with the NFC South, Tampa has been able to stay afloat. And, they got back in the win column with a tough fought victory over Carolina at home back in week 13. Nobody really blinked. But then going on the road after losing a close one earlier this season at home to the Atlanta Falcons, the Bucks were able to return the favor, and I think from that game, this team got a lot of confidence. And then from there, in week number 15, going on the road, historically, the Bucks have not played good in cold weather, but going to Lambeau Field and getting the best of the Green Bay Packers and actually beating the Packers by 2 touchdowns in that contest when you were clearly the better team on the field that day. Tampa has a wealth of confidence. And then, of course, the beatdown at home this Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The final score was 30-12. But honestly, at the end of the day, that final score was not indicative of how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers dominated things. So you're looking at it right now for the Bucks. They're 8-7. You've got both the Falcons and Saints at 7-8. And of course, the Carolina Panthers, they're bringing up the rear. But with that said, the Bucks host the Saints this Sunday. And if the Bucks win that game, they're division champs regardless of what happens after that, because you figure they have a better division mark over the Falcons. And for my money, I know that the Carolina Panthers have been playing better, but I think that the Bucks could just go ahead and take care of their business against Carolina on the road in week number 18. However, with that said, Tampa is in the driver's seat. And I mean, credit to Todd Bowles, the head coach, because when things go bad, we want to blame the head coach, and when things are going good, you got to give our head coach some love as well. And we knew coming in somebody was going to win this division. At the beginning of the season, I expected the Saints to win this division running away. Has not been the case. Too many issues on offense. Nonetheless, you've left the door open for a team like the Buccaneers, and you've got a band of brothers here playing together. You have some guys on this team that know what it takes to win a championship. They were a part of that Bucks team back in 2020. Some of these guys on both sides of the ball that won. And then on top of that, you've got some guys that are playing for contracts. Mike Evans is playing for a contract, maybe not with the Bucks, but with another team. Mike Evans continues to ball out, and it's one of those where I really do believe if Mike Evans played in a bigger market, he'd be a household name. But this guy has produced and put up big stats throughout his NFL career. And I do believe when it's all said and done, he's going to have a gold jacket on at some point. Antoine Winfield Jr., another guy who's playing for a contract. And, he's just continuing to fly around the football. I thought it was a joke when he got drafted that he had to wait to round number 2. made a name for himself, of course, in that Bucs championship year. Had a big time outing in the Super Bowl when the Bucs won, and has continued to be one of the better safeties, in my opinion, in the National Football League. You got so much talent on that defensive side of the ball with the likes of Devin White, Levante David, and then of course you've got Baker Mayfield. And once Baker Mayfield left the Cleveland Browns, of course, former first overall pick in the draft, things didn't work out there. I think he got revitalized, going to the Rams with Sean McVay after being with the Carolina Panthers. But nonetheless, I think Sean McVay, in my opinion, this side of Andy Reid, arguably is probably like the best purveyor of quarterbacks and how to get things right for quarterbacks going right now in the National Football League. Obviously, you could throw Kyle Shanahan into that mix as well. But nonetheless, Baker's been a different guy ever since then. And Baker's playing for a contract as well. You can make a very compelling case. Baker is having the best season of his NFL career. 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And over the last 3 games, Baker Mayfield has not thrown an interception. And in those contests, he's thrown 8 touchdowns. So there's no surprise that Baker and the Bucs are winning games. And I'll tell you like this, I like their chances to go out there and win this division. And I'm going to take it a step further because right now, the race is on between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, clearly to win the NFC East, most likely be a 2 seed, possibly being a 1, being that the door was open slightly after San Francisco's loss last night to Baltimore. But nonetheless, it's basically an aberration as like, well, you know what? Whoever doesn't win the NFC East, they're going to be the 5 seed. They're going to go to Tampa, and then they're going to win, and then they're going to go on to San Fran. That's not a guarantee right now, and I'll tell you why. Because I look at the way that Tampa's playing. They're playing with house money on both sides of the football. Todd Bowles is coaching with house money, and we've seen before on the playoff stage where a Todd Bowles-led defense can frustrate a quarterback. So anybody who thinks that it's a slam dunk that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go down to Tampa and just beat the Bucs in the wild card round if they were to meet again, just like they did last year. If anybody thinks it's a slam dunk that the Philadelphia Eagles would go down to Tampa and beat this team, not so fast. They're going to have to work for it. I mean, the Eagles, in my like I've said, they're scary. It's scary that they haven't played good all season. But at this point, you know what? You are what you are. And I look at this Tampa team. I think they are the team to beat in this division at this point because it comes down number one to quarterback play, and right now between Baker Mayfield, Tyler Heineke, Desmond Ritter, whoever you want to split it between in Atlanta, and then of course Derek Carr with New Orleans. Right now, Baker Mayfield is playing the best football out of all of them, and then on top of that, he's doing a good job of getting the football to Mike Evans, doing a good job of getting the football to Chris Godwin. And then I like the way that Rashad White is running the football. And again, you can't say enough about this defense. This Todd Bowles cover two, they're flying around to the ball, they're making plays. And because of that, Tampa has gotten themselves in this position. And again, like I said, not to sound like a broken record, they are the team to beat in this division. And then do not, I repeat, do not write this team off at home in wild card weekend should they get there and have to host a juggernaut like the Cowboys or the Eagles. But nonetheless, it's the Bucks division to lose at this point. I think they get it done. They might get it done Sunday at home against the Saints. We got to wait and see. But nonetheless, somebody had to win this division. And just when we were waiting for somebody to step up and take the bull by the horns, if you will, for the NFC South, look no further than the Buccaneers. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.